Welcome to the show. Rudy Rodriguez here, your host to the High Profit Event Show. And today we have a really special guest, Mr. Rey Perez, who is going to be sharing with us how to leverage really cool technology to increase your brand and generate raving fans with your events. Before I bring Rey on, I was going to give a couple bio points, but he actually helped me out by creating a really awesome intro video. So I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen. For those of you who are watching the video, for those of you who listen to the audio, you'll still be able to hear it, and we'll include the link in the description here. But I want you to actually get a chance to get to know Rey through his video. So hold on one second. I'm going to push play, and you're going to see Rey Perez.
His ability to see what's special about you and to be enthusiastic about that and really get you to share that enthusiasm and be excited about your new branding.
And the community that he's created has been really cool. So I've been able to learn a lot of best practices.
The great benefit about working with Rey Perez is that he's going to drive your brand. When he drives your 360 brand, it's going to be a simplistic way to streamline and to organize your message.
The easiest thing about referring Rey is that he has a system and he's going to help people become better. I watch him do it all the time.
The biggest benefit of working with Rey is that he gives you an identity. He gives you a branding that matches with who you are in the world, who you can be in the world.
It's not about do you need to wear a suit, how do you want to make value in the world? Don't try to different. Making you feel like you need to celebrate, because if you don't, then what's the point of working so hard?
We need to celebrate.
Yes.
That being said, I want to celebrate Mr. Rey Perez. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, Rudy?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing really well and excited to have you on. This is a long-awaited interview I've been looking forward to since we were hanging out in Guatemala a few years ago. You were writing your book.
Right, that's right. I actually got it right here.
Let's see it. Hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, man. Well, this is the newest one. This is the one before, and then this is so.
Yeah, not one, but 3 books have come since then. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, working on my 4th as we speak right now. So, super excited, just super blessed. Thank you for having me on the show.
Most definitely, man. And, we bring people on the show who are experts in their specific niche and also have experience in the event space. And you're both. You're a globally recognized branding expert. In fact, if you Google search Rey Perez, you're going to get, #1 global branding expert. And and you have a lot of experience in events. In fact, you're doing an event less than 2 weeks, and you do 1 or 2 like every other month. So I think this is a great interview, and looking forward to hearing what you have to teach us today.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's interesting because I've been doing events since I was 18 years old. Actually, 17 if I really go back to when I started promoting my very first nightclub right here in Miami Beach. So I started as a nightclub promoter. So I've been promoting and marketing events for 20 plus years at this point. And the craziest thing is the same exact strategies that I used to get people to a nightclub in my 20s is the same strategies I get people to use to get people to a business event now in my 40s. So it's interesting how things have evolved, but the strategies are still the same.
Yeah, they say strategy lasts, and tactics change with strategy, lasts, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Awesome, brother. And so doing events for sounds like over 20 years or about 20 years. A lot of experience, man. Really interested to hear how you leverage cool technology to better connect with the audience and to build more raving fans.
So one of the things that I've been doing, I would say, is like the latest strategy that I've implemented in my personal events and then into the clients that I work with in their events, because that's the really unique benefit that I bring to the table. It's like I run my events on a quarterly basis, and I do multiple events in between those as well. But I also have a production company that will host events for my clients and other people. So I'm always using strategies within my own events, but then I'm tweaking them and then I'm implementing them in other people's events. So one of the latest technologies and strategies that I've been using for the last couple of years that's really made a tremendous difference for me and my clients has been using the technology of a 360 site. And a 360 site is a platform that I built about, I don't know, 7 years ago at this point. And I initially created it because I felt that I wanted a faster, more effective way to connect with people when I first met them, whether that be at a live event, whether that was networking, whether it was through social media. I just knew that passing out a business card or sending people my website wasn't the most effective way to build rapport and relationship and connection. And as most people know, all buying decisions are based on emotion backed by logic. So if I really want someone to eventually buy my products or services, I got to focus on building a relationship and a connection with them first, so they like, know, and trust me before they're ever going to make that buying decision, right? So understanding that, I really started to ask myself, how do human beings research one another in today's market? How do they build rapport? How do they, look each other up? And the answer that 99% of people give is, number one, they Google, right? And number two, they're going to look up your social medias. So you're going to check out your LinkedIn, they're going to check out your Facebook, your Instagram, depending what demographic you are, right? Depending what age group you are, but they're going to look you up on your socials. People aren't really initially looking to check out your website because we all know that you can own and operate all the content on your website. People want to look at your socials because psychologically they want to know what you're really up to in the world. Who are you really? What are you doing? And understanding that psychology, I was like, okay, if I need to build a relationship with people faster, I need to build this connection, I need to build this trust, this credibility. People are using Google, they're checking out social medias, they want to build rapport and get to know me and like me before they do business and check out my website. Wouldn't it make sense that if I somehow got my social medias in front of them first so that they can build that relationship with me faster and I could get ahead of my competitors? The challenge was, I don't know what social media preference every other human being on the planet has because there's so many social medias, right? Now I can guess based on the demographic, based on the age, blah, 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 what social media is their preference, but in the end of the day, it's not a guarantee and I don't know. So then the thought was, how do I just put it all in one place? How do I put it on a silver platter, give them one link and let them choose what social media they want to connect with me on or research me on and build rapport, right? That's how it started. And then expanded to, well, okay, if they're checking out my social medias, maybe they want to also check out my podcast interviews. Maybe they also want to check out my websites. Maybe they also want to check out my nonprofit. Maybe they also want to check out my videos. Maybe they want to check out my articles that on Forbes, Entrepreneur, Los Angeles Tribune, USA Today, right? So little by little, we started adding all these other collaterals and materials and medias that are in the world that we all have, right? And one, you have a video, you have a podcast, you might have been on a talk show before, you did some press release, you got websites and content, right? We all have this stuff. And little by little, we started to aggregate it. Now, this isn't like a website because a website would be too difficult to have all this stuff on a website. And if you know anything about marketing, number one rule in marketing is when you get someone to your website, you don't want them to leave your website. So it goes against everything I've ever learned in the world of marketing to put all your social medias and all this stuff on your website that takes them away from your website. Because once they get to your website, we want them to do what? We want them to potentially schedule a call and buy, right? So under being a marketer first, right? My brain said, it does not make sense to build this amazing website that I want people to convert and buy from me and then send them to Facebook, send them to LinkedIn, send them to my podcast, right? I have to do it reverse. I have to give them all that information first, let them build the relationship, let them build the rapport, let them feel connected that I'm a trustworthy, credible expert. I like this guy. He might have funky hair, but I like him, right? And when that happens, then they come to my website. Then they schedule a call. Then we make a buying decision. And figuring out how to create that process has made such a tremendous difference for me when I'm connecting with people. And that could be live, physically, like at an event. It could be at the supermarket. It could be in the gym. It could be at church, or it could be virtually online on a Zoom call, on a virtual event. It could be on a Facebook message. It could be in an email. It could be in a text message. I just realized all these medias of communication are all just avenues of how I can get someone to build more rapport and connection with me. So long story short, we pulled it all together. I started using it, speaking at a lot of events, running my own events, and then other speakers and other attendees started asking me, hey, how'd you do that? I want to do that. Can you do that for me? Okay, we clone the site. We build another one. We take all my information out. We add that person's. Somebody else would ask. We clone the site, take out my information, add theirs. After 180 sites of cloning and changing information, I said, I think I figured something out here. And I think this is something that people can benefit and they like it. And that's how the business started evolving into an actual, I'm now selling this as a service to people, which is a SaaS company, software as a service, which I didn't even know back then. I didn't even know I had a SaaS company. And since then, it's grown. We have over 4,000 and change members on all different levels. And we teach now how to use this technology at live events, whether you're an attendee, whether you're a sponsor, or you're the actual speaker, or you're the event promoter yourself, because those are all the different capacities of events. And as event coordinators and as people who put on events, we play all those roles, right? Sometimes we show up to the mastermind and we're an attendee. Sometimes we show up to that event and we're the speaker. Sometimes we have a booth and we're a sponsor, or sometimes it's our event and we're the promoter, right? Those are all the little hats that we wear at different times when it comes to the world of events. But this technology has allowed me to be more effective no matter which hat I'm wearing. When I'm an attendee, the way I can connect with people and network is unlike anything else, because it boosts my credibility instantly. And being the #1 global branding expert, I understand the value in elevating who I am in people's mind. The more perception of value that someone has of you, the more they're going to listen to you, the more they're going to follow you, and the more they're going to share about who you are and what you do, which means you create more attraction. The more attraction you have, the more impact you can make, right? So that formula is something that I teach during our Business Growth Bootcamp. I follow that formula, but I enhance that formula with the technology of the 360 that pulls everything together in one place, because the power of choice is the greatest gift that you can give another human being. If I were to meet you, Rudy, and you ask me what I do, and I give you my business website, at one way, shape, or form, you're going to feel I'm trying to sell to you. Because the reality is I am, because we all are. But if I say, hey, let's get connected, and I give you a 360 that says Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, podcast, Facebook, videos, it no longer feels like I'm trying to sell anything. It just feels like, oh, these are little buttons like on my iPhone, right? Used to pushing all these little buttons. Let me check this out. Let me check that. And all of a sudden, you give another human being the power of choice, the gift of choice. And that changes the experience that that human being has of you. Because what do you think the rest of the world is doing? The rest of the world is giving out a business card or giving out a link to their website. That's what the rest of the world's doing. So everybody's doing the same thing. And I believe in being that one person that does something different, that one person that stands out. And I can get into it in a moment, but the follow-up sequence is really what makes the difference. The technology is cool, and it does give a wow impact, like, wow, that's cool. And it does give that first impression, but the real power is in the follow-up, because consider this. If I meet you and I give you a business card, or I just give you my website, or I have you put my phone number in your phone, because those are all scenarios that people do at events, right? I'm still making you do work to have to follow up with me. Either you're going to type in my 10-digit number, either you're going to have to look for my email. With the system that we teach using the 360 technology, and I'll demonstrate it in a moment, we'll share screen. You can download my contact information into your cell phone in less than 10 seconds, right? All my information is in your phone. My email, my phone number, my birthday, my address. I tell people I like chocolate for my birthday, send me milk chocolate, right? All my information and my picture. So my picture pops up on their phone. Now, the system that I teach at my event and for anyone that's at events is, as soon as they save my information in those 10 seconds, I go, click on their phone, I go, here, text me your full name and your best email so I can save you in my phone. And immediately they do it because I'm standing next to them, right? And they go boom, boom. And if we were virtually, I would tell you to do it and I would wait right here until you do it. And they send me their name and they send me their email. Now, the cool part is this. I only asked for them to send me their name and email. Didn't ask for their cell phone number. But I get the cell phone number because when they click that button, it actually opens up a text message. And the most important piece of contact information that we could ever want to have from somebody that we meet at any event or any situation is their cell phone number. As marketers, as speakers, as people who go to events and their goal is to get more contacts, we all know to offer something of value, right? When you offer a free gift, when you offer a free report, when you offer a copy of your book, whatever that is, right? We want to get in exchange people's information, right? So if you're at an event, not as an attendee, but let's say you're a speaker or a sponsor, you're probably going to have some type of lead capture tool, gift, what we call it in the marketing world, right? And probably 95, 96% of the time, it's going to send them to a landing page. And on that landing page, it's going to ask for their name, their number, their email, right? Marketers know that the chances of people filling out that form goes down. And I don't remember the percentage, maybe you know, Rudy. It goes down when you ask for a phone number. And if you want to have the best opt-in percentage ever, you only ask for an email. That's like known high-end marketing knowledge, right? But I want the phone number. I want the cell phone number because I know that that's the most important piece of information for me to connect with this person. And I do believe in text message marketing. I do believe in picking up the phone and making phone calls. So I said, if the studies are proven that when you give a form, doesn't matter what it is, it can be your book, it can be your podcast, it can be your presentation, it can be your white paper, it doesn't matter what the gift is. The fact that they have to fill out a form to get that gift makes people less likely to give their information, right? Just does. And if you ask for a cell phone number, it's going to even more less likely have people opt in. So I said, okay, I'm still going to give my gift. Still want people to give me their information. I'm just going to do away with the opt-in form. I'm no longer going to have a page that they go to with an opt-in form. Instead, I'm going to have them go to my 360 site. I'm going to have them click the contact button. And I'm going to have them click send text. And I'm going to say to the audience, or if I'm a sponsor, whatever, the person in front of me, I say, text me your full name and your best email. And I'm going to send you my, whatever that call to action, irresistible offer, gift, whatever you want to call it, that lead capture, right? Here's what I've realized, and this is the coolest thing. And if you're listening to this podcast, like, you need to listen super closely to what I'm going to say, because this is the game changer. This is the ninja strategy. When I say, text me your full name and best email, the last thing that they hear is email. And most people, because they're interested in what it is that you're offering, right? Whether it's the course, the white paper, the book, whatever, because they want that thing, the action steps you give them is send your full name and best email. So they write full name, email, send. They're not thinking, they're not processing, I'm sending them my cell phone number as well. Does that make sense? Now, maybe some people are, like a small percentage of people are like, wait a second, he's going to get my cell phone number. And that's totally cool, because I'm not trying to hide anything. I just want you to understand the difference between someone typing a form that says, fill in your phone number here. That creates resistance with a person. When you say, send me your full name and best email, There's no resistance. People just, boom, they do it. Now, as a speaker, for those that are listening to this, that are speakers, this is the greatest thing I've ever figured out as a speaker. Changed my freaking life, changed the way I build my audience. As the speaker, when they start messaging their name and email, I pick up my phone on stage or on Zoom, wherever I'm at. I open up my app, because it's not my actual personal cell phone, right? I will admit it's not my personal cell phone. It is a text messaging number that goes to an app, but I open the app on my phone and I start saying everyone's name who's texting me. So I'll go, Rudy, I got you, buddy. Jennifer, I got you. James. And you know what starts happening to that audience? Everybody wants the speaker to acknowledge them from the front of the room, because the speaker has the power. Does that make sense? You've been listening to this person present on a topic. You've been building a connection and relationship as you've been listening to them educate you. All of a sudden, that person of power starts to acknowledge you, a human being acknowledging another human being, another gift that we give. And all of a sudden, more people start messaging because they want to be acknowledged in front of the room. Nothing about sales, nothing about marketing, nothing about opting in, about relationships, about connecting with people. So initially it was my strategy on how to get more leads, right? Like that was my initial goal. But later on, I really started to look into it and I started realizing, you know what? I want to serve people. I don't want to just get their information and make money. I want to build connection. I want to give people a good feeling. I want to acknowledge other human beings. I want to make someone a little bit happier and have a little bit more joy in their life when I'm have the power as a speaker on stage. I don't want to just do this to get people's information. And my whole mindset started shifting. It started shifting from like, wow, this is the best marketing strategy in the world, to be like, I love to give my audience praise. I love to give people joy. And I love to build relationships with them, because then they become my clients and they become my friends. And I believe the more people that start to love you and become your tribe, the more your name will start to grow, right? We joke that I'm the #1 global branding expert according to Google, right? Because when you search global branding expert, I'm the #1, page 1 and 2. But the reality is I've been able to do that because I built so many amazing relationships with all my clients. I served them at such a high level that I have raving fans that like, I love Rey Perez. I love Rey Perez. And just, it fills my heart. And, my love language is words of affirmation. So it really does speak to my soul. But in the end of the day, this strategy isn't just about being more effective at generating more leads for your business. It's really about how you as a speaker or as an event promoter or a sponsor of an event can really contribute and give back to the people while you're being effective in collecting this information. And at a booth as a sponsor, because I want to make sure I touch on all of them, as a sponsor, it's the same thing. Now, I might not be at the table, right? So if you're listening to me and you're like, well, I'm a sponsor, but my team goes, well, that's the same thing for me, right? I'm not at the sponsor table. I'm usually speaking or I'm mingling, or if I'm at the event, but my team's at the table. So at the table, we're going to have promotional flyers similar to this, right? And there's going to be a QR code, right? And on that QR code, it says, call, text, email, or get socially connected with Rey. Because on this QR code, they can call, they can text, they can email, or they can see all my social medias, website, podcast media, everything in one place. So my team will have them scan and have them do the exact same thing while they're at the table. You want some more information? Great, here you go. Scan this, send your full name and best email, and my team's going to send you Rey's presentation. And it all goes into my text messaging software. My team, wherever they're at in the world, has the software logged in their computer. I also have it on my cell phone so I can see everything that's happening, and they put them into the follow-up sequence as if it's me following up with them, which it really is me because I did write it. I did write it a couple of years ago, but I'm just not personally sending it from my cell phone, but the message is still coming from me. I'm still able to see it. So it's not like I'm not involved. If somebody replies, I can see it. I can click on it. I can reply, especially if my team doesn't know how to answer that question or it's someone that I know. But this technology and this process that I'm sharing with you has become a game changer when it comes to the event space, specifically for events that you're attending as an attendee, sponsor, speaker, or and then as a promoter, when it comes to my event, most people who are listening may not have ever considered this. The person's at your event, so you don't need to get their phone number and email. You already got that information, right? So what is this going to do? Well, do you know if all the people live in your event are following you on your Instagram? Do you know everyone in that room is connected to you on LinkedIn? Do you know if they're all your Facebook friends or following your fan page? So when it comes to being the promoter of the event, the way I use this technology is to be able to all the other pieces of the puzzle to have my audience connect with me. Now, I give them a gift, right? I don't just say, hey, connect with me on social media. I'm like, all right, everybody pull out your cell phones, scan the QR code, go to my 360. If you're not already connected with me, connect with me on Instagram, connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me on Facebook. And my team is going to look through the connections and we're going to select a winner and we're going to give blank, right? It could be a signed copy of my book. It could be 100 digital dollars, which they can use towards any of our branding and marketing services, whatever your gift is. But all of a sudden, I got an extra 20, 30, 40, 50 new followers on Instagram, connections on LinkedIn, and friends on Facebook or followers on my fan page, depending which one you have. Like I'm maxed out on my friends, so I can't get any more friends. I have to take them to my fan page, right? Even YouTube subscribers. A lot of event coordinators are struggling. They're doing good in events, but they might be struggling on their YouTube channel, right? They have a couple thousand on their YouTube channel. Well, it's hard to get more views. Guess what? You got 100 people in your audience, have them scan a quick QR code, click on YouTube. All of a sudden, you got 100 new subscribers in that one event, in addition to what you're already doing. So these little tiny strategies using the technology actually creates even better results from an event than just sales, right? Than what we're obviously all trying to do is sell more. But these little strategies create intrinsic value because Rudy, the more followers you have does not necessarily equate to more money, but it does equate to a higher perception of value. Because when you look at someone, let's just say on Instagram, and they have 2,000 followers, it's very different than they have 20,000 followers or 200,000 followers. That perception changes in the marketing and branding of that person. So if you're an event promoter and you're doing a live event and you got 30, 40, 50, 200, 300 people in the audience, why wouldn't you take advantage of that opportunity to get them to follow you, subscribe? And again, if it's a one-day event, two-day event, you can split it up. You don't have to do everything in one day, right? We like to split up on day one. We get everyone to follow us on Instagram and connect with us on LinkedIn. On day two, we do Facebook and Twitter. On day three, we do YouTube and TikTok. Just because we don't want to overwhelm people. And every day we're going to pick like 2 or 3 winners because we're picking 2 or 3 social medias. And that's how we've incorporated it into our process, but we leverage the technology because here's the thing. If you're listening to me right now and you're like, that's a great idea, but why don't I just send them directly to my YouTube channel or directly to my Facebook? Why would I send them to the 360 site? Here's the answer. Because on the 360 site, they have all the options and they have all your additional content. It's proven that it requires a minimum of 7 to 12 exposures before someone makes a buying decision. Now, if someone's at your event, they obviously bought to be there. But what do we really want them to do? We want them to buy in to whatever is the higher package, next level, mastermind, inner circle, whatever it is, right? Bigger back end. Do you think it makes sense that if we put more of your content easily accessible right in front of their face and their cell phone, that they can click on it? Oh, I didn't know Ray was on Forbes. Oh shit, I didn't know he was in the Los Angeles Tribune. I didn't know he had a nonprofit organization. Oh, this is cool. I didn't know. I'm gonna watch this video. You're giving more exposure to who you are and what you do to your consumer, which means they're going to build more trust, relationship, and credibility. Your perception of value is going to go higher. That's going to assist in the sales process on the back end. So the reason we use the 360 is because we understand we want to maximize our exposure every single time we do any type of marketing. I'll give you another example. Whenever I'm going to join anyone on a Zoom call, I don't send them my Zoom link. I send them the direct link to my 360 site that has the Zoom button. So they get to the page, this is my 360, they get to the Zoom button, and then they click the Zoom button. And guess what? Takes them into my Zoom room. Here we are. Congratulations. We finish our call. They close the Zoom. Guess what stays open right in front of their face? Everything that is connected to me in the world is in one place, sitting on their computer or sitting on their phone. I've planted my media, my exposure opportunity, because I logistically gave them what they asked for, but I did it through the technology so that I could maximize my opportunity with them. That has been the biggest game changer for me as I've been growing my brand, growing my business, growing my celebrity status, was how I can maximize my exposure opportunities through everything I do. When I send an event, I don't send them directly to the event page. I send them to the button on my 360 that says events. Now, guess what? I do multiple events. So I cross-promote my event, I cross-promote my other event, and when they're done, all my other videos, podcasts, websites, everything stays sitting right in front of their face once I'm done. So that's basically how I've taken that technology. I've leveraged it in all the different aspects of live events, whether it's attending, sponsoring, speaking, or promoting, and how I've used it in all of my marketing as well to build more trust, more credibility, more connection, more relationship. And at the end of the day, when it all comes down to it, I believe business is built on relationships. My goal is always to create better relationships with people. If they have a need for what I do, the likelihood of them buying or doing business with me goes up, the better the relationship we have. If they don't have a need for what I do, but I still have built a good relationship, the likelihood of them wanting to introduce me to someone that they know that can be my perfect customer goes up tremendously. So I'm always trying to create amazing relationships, because one way or another, it will eventually lead to some type of business. Maybe they'll get me to speak on a podcast like you. Maybe they'll have me speak at an event. Maybe they'll invite me to their mastermind. One way or another, as long as I create this connection, this value, this higher perception, people it's going to lead to some type of business some point. So that's kind of the whole entire process.
Well, Ray, that wasn't very much at all. Oh my gosh, man, I got pages of notes here from what you shared, and yeah, a couple of my quick takeaways here is honestly the psychology that you were talking through around the opt-in, right? And yeah, it's known that the more you ask for, the more resistance, the less likely they are to move forward. But you're right, psychologically, if people are just being asked for a name and then an email, and then send, and they don't, they give you the phone number, and there you go, right? I didn't thought about it from that perspective, but it's a small thing that's big. It's really big. Yeah.
It's the tiny hinges that swing big doors. And this is a tiny hinge, but it's a big freaking door.
Yeah, very big. And I'm also a big believer on speaking to people on the phone as well. So to be able to have a warm person that wants to interact with you. I love the SMS platform you have on the back end. I'm curious, is that something you're willing to share with us here as well? Like which platform that you use?
Yeah,
manage all that?
Actually, if you want to share your screen, or you want me to share my screen, I'd love to give everybody who's listening to this podcast an opportunity to get exactly what I'm teaching. So
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, so for those that are listening and not being able to view, I want you to go to rayperez360.com, rayperez360.com, and on that page, you're going to have everything I just talked about. So you're going to see my book, you're going to see my socials, my events, my media, my videos, my websites. There is a button on this page that's called presentation. When you click this presentation, this actually will give you access to my training video and my lead capture scripts. Will give you verbatim, like I actually wrote the script for you on a Google Doc. and you'll be able to take that Google Doc, copy it into yours, and then take out my call to action and add yours. And when you finish watching the training at the bottom, here, I'll just show it for those that are watching. It's going to give you a link to set up your free 360 site, right? So you go ahead, fill out your information. It'll take you to the next page. And on the next page, it'll give you my actual training. And on top of the training, right below, it's going to give you a chance to schedule a call with me. Let's say if you have a few questions, you wanted to learn more, you're a friend of Rudy's, you heard me on this podcast, just let me know that you heard me on the podcast, and you can schedule a 15-minute discovery call with me and ask me anything you want. Below that is an opportunity to claim your free 360 site so that you have the technology. Once you're inside the dashboard, there's a section called events and courses. The very first section says Ray's lead capture script and training videos. When you click that, you're going to get my presentation and you're going to get my entire script so that you can copy and paste it and use it in any event that you're going to do.
That's a great walkthrough and demo. Great. Appreciate you sharing that. We'll be sure to include the link in the show notes for the episode as well. And I'm curious, with the process, you capture all of these phone numbers, and you said you have an SMS platform that you monitor, and you're able to respond to. What platform is that? Also the 360 site, or is that a separate platform?
So the 360 site is basically connects everything that you currently have. So we're vendor agnostic. So the one that I've been using for a very long time is called Scipio. Okay, they're out of Utah. I've been working them for a very long time. Very good company. There's another software that I've also been using that's called Go High Level. And the reason I've been starting to use them a little bit more is because they have more integrated altogether. Scipio is a solely text messaging software platform, and it does everything that you need to do with text messaging, and they're absolutely amazing. But Go High Level also has CRM, also has email marketing, also has several other things that I can incorporate into one. So currently we use both softwares and a couple other softwares. But if I were to give you feedback, I would first say it depends on your situation. And I'd like to ask you 3 or 4 questions before I give you my feedback. So if you're listening to this or watching it and you're considering, how do I incorporate text message marketing for lead capture, for follow-up sequences, for all of that, feel free that when you click that presentation and once you set up your 360, schedule a call with me and say, hey, I want your feedback, Ray, on how I should go about setting up a text messaging software, because they're different prices, they're different benefits. It depends if you're just starting out. Are you speaking once a week? Are you speaking once a month? Are you speaking to an audience of 30 people or 300 people? All these little details are a deciding factor on what's best for you to use. And because you're listening to me on Rudy's podcast, I'm happy to provide that value for you and answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate that, man. It's been a great interview. Tons of golden nuggets here. I'm going to go back and review my notes and rewatch the podcast. And I'm going to go download my 360 site free trial as well. So thank you.
Please. And for those of you that do this, I want to hear your feedback, because you guys are into events. I don't care if you're attending, if you're sponsoring, speaking, or doing your events. I want to hear what happened. And feel free to reach out to me. Hey, Ray, I'm doing my next event in a month. What do you think is the best strategy? How can I leverage this? That's what I'm here for. That's what my team's here for. Like, let us serve you. Let us give you the ideas, because I promise you, I've been doing this for 20 years. I have figured out the ninja strategies on how to be even more effective than how we currently are. And it's not about doing things differently. It's just about doing things more efficiently, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you again, man. And for our audience, be sure to check out Ray's 360 site, get your free trial, reach out to Ray if you have questions, and and let us know. Give Ray feedback based off of how you use the software. It'd be great to hear.
I love that. Appreciate
Thank you, brother.
That.
Appreciate you for being on today.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for allowing me to be on here with you.